Hey, how y'all doing? Dan Land Pro here. Always in the mix, always playing around with something. Hey, came on here to, I stay on here, have a ball. I ain't been on StreamYard in a while, but anyway, we've been doing, let me drop something on you, and we've been working on a website. So I want to try this, drop something on you intro while I'm here, and then I'm going to share a little bit of this website with you, see what's coming down the pipe. As soon as we put some finishing touches on it, we'll be done with it. And then you can see some of the things that's actually happening with that website. So let's test that right quick. Right, that worked pretty good. I love it. Now, what I want to do is share this screen so I can see how the share screen works, so we can get into the website and the gist of all of that. So we're going to go over here to tutorial mode and see how that website's coming up. So let's go right here. This is Dan Land Productions LLC. So we want to see just how that website's coming around. So this is pretty much the home page. So we're going to be sharing a little information with you as far as live streaming, tutorials, content creation. Here we had an etymology of video. We break down video production. We break down videography. We also have some articles in our blog that's going to pretty much cover how you take IDSS, where you use two or more disciplines and combine them in order to make a project, which is pretty much something that I've been specializing in the last couple of years. Integrating IDSS, which is two or more disciplines, along with TAPS, which is theater and performance studies, and integrating those disciplines in order to not only observe media teams or communication teams, but to solve problems with those teams by identifying each specialty. For example, videographer, uh, uh, communications expert, photographer, social media manager, director assistants, media manager, breaking all of those different titles down into their areas of responsibility to the point where you can integrate all of those. Everybody know what their job assignments are in order to produce an efficient project, or in order to produce production fast in time without all of the normal confusion. So it's pretty much problem solving using those integrations. So that's pretty much what I'm sharing on most of this website. So if we come down here, you see where you can actually book private sessions depending on what your specialties are. And this is just a few of them that we listed. So say you're interested in content creation in certain areas that we specialize in, we'll share that with you as far as coaching you and showing you how to content create in a very effective way. Same with live streaming. So don't confuse the two as far as content creation, live streaming. So live streaming will pretty much fall under our content delivery, which is also another topic that we'll be covering. So you see video production, which is pretty much classic, becoming a classic status because that's where everything begins. So pretty much everything that we're seeing kind of spent off from video production. So live streaming, you got to have some idea of video production in order to live stream or in order to create content. So you want to know some of these things. So now we have this new one at the top, which is Chat GPT coaching, which is becoming common. So you've been hearing a lot about Chat GPT for the last couple of months. And we pretty much introduced you to that concept after we appeared on one of the Stepper shows. And that was the topic, one of the topics or something that came up. So we followed up on that. And we not only got into Chat GPT under OpenAI, but we also got into DALL-E, if I'm pronouncing it correct, pretty much like Adobe Firefly, where you can use generative fields to create photos. Now, I did a photo, and I'm going to do a tutorial or present that in the next day or two. I took an original photo and I used Adobe Photoshop Beta, which is pretty much a spinoff from Firefly, to show you how to use an AI generated image that you can take from one of your old images. So you can change the clothes, or you can change anything. You can add jewelry, you can add an earring. So I played around with some of those. So that's pretty much some of the things we've been covering on our website, coaching you on how to do those particular things. So our about page, pretty much the same. Most of it is just information. Like, this is pretty much a quick history on some of the things that we did as far as at the beginning, when we carried, as you see, we carried the big giant cameras and some of our tire or some of our stuff that we'd be selling in our shop. So these are just, like you see, the early journey and some of the things as far as the digital journey, digital strategies, and services that we pretty much offer. Here's a map of where our location is and how you want to contact us or send us by mail, et cetera, et cetera. So we pretty much built this site, and here's our go live page, where you see most of the things that we're dealing with is where you can go live or embed your live stream right into your website, and you can get around some of the problems that you may be having on social media platforms as far as what you want to do on your dedicated site. So here's some motivational quotes down here that we spoke about, as far as something Spike Lee said and Gordon Parks, who are two of the people that, as far as media, that I've always admired and adored, as far as what they pioneered and some of their concepts behind filmmaking, and how they use camera actions to invoke certain emotional responses from the audiences. For example, Gordon Parks always said that you should film around sunset, where you get your best film grade by filming around sunset. And that was before we had all these digital strategies, but I still appreciate that concept, because it's true. You get that nice, really, really cinematic look around that time of day if you're filming outside. And we all know Spike Lee with his zoom method, which we also know as the Spike Lee method, where it looked like they're riding on a treadmill or something, and the camera is moving. The camera is zooming in as the object is zooming out. So these are just different effects and things that I admire these two filmmakers very much. So, Gordon Parks dealing with Superfly, and Spike Lee with his genre or library of film. So we got some stuff that we deal with, as far as, like you see, we have some here where we use Adobe XD, and that's where you can use a prototype to design websites, lay them out. And we use Stream Deck. We use so many different things, and these are some of the tutorials: Borders, ATM Mini Pro. These are Shoot to Edit. These are just the tutorials, and these you can find on Webmaster Dan over youtube.com, or Steppers Express over youtube.com. And those are where we posted a lot of those earlier tutorials and things like that, when we were really serious about the dance community. And we still pop stuff up on Steppers Express, but that's not my main focus anymore, because that particular genre has its pioneers right now that's dealing more with live streaming and some of the shows, and they still covering a lot of the information that I used to really be into deep. And for the sake of argument, I kind of avoid some of those topics and conversations. I did appear on one young lady's show, but most of the conversations that we discussing on that platform are pretty much, they've been covered. Now, I did promise a few people that I interviewed years ago that I would start popping up some classic clips in some of the shorts to show some of their earlier information, as far as what they were commenting about, as far as the dance community. So, I'm gonna always tap into the dance community a little bit, because that's pretty much where we got our footing. The post office and the dance community is pretty much where we started. Now, I have a blog here, and this is basically a lot of the information that I did while I was studying theater and performance studies. Theater and performance studies. So a lot of times we had to attend different plays around the Chicagoland area, and it was a class called Chicagoland Theater, and we would go to plays and workshops and different things, and then you had to write a critique on them. So most of the stuff that I have on this blog, other than this algorithm, the Lost Perspective that I wrote, these are just blogs that I did on different stuff, like how to capture step videos. These two top blogs are just something that I wrote, and these four down below were pretty much assignments, and they just still up on my blog. So they eventually be removed, and we'll be blogging more about video production and some of the things that we cover as a profession and as an authority. This is our shop. So as you see, we have our t-shirts, we have our different products, and you'll be able to come on here and order different things. Most of the products here won't be watches and things that you see here. This is pretty much a template that we're working on. Our products more or less will gear around some of the software and tools that you'll be using in your productions, in your live streaming, and some of the things that will speed up your production processes as you build your content. So that's pretty much it. As you see, we have, this is back to editors. So we go in there and edit different things, and we use Wix for this particular platform. So you have so many different platforms that you can use. And a lot of this stuff I used to have to write from scratch. And that's something that I want to share later on in a tutorial as far as what we see here with Wix. Because now with ChatGPT, if you know like HTML, or you know how to use CSS style sheets and some of the other things that we used to write in code, or we used to write in HTML or HTML5, you can actually command that ChatGPT to write a style sheet if you know how to go in afterwards and edit that style sheet, or you don't know, the proper commands to get at ChatGPT in order to create that particular type of content. So that's pretty much it as far as what I want to cover here today. So, hey, I'm going to play this intro and outro again, and then we out of here. My name is Danland Pro. It's always a pleasure. Stay tuned. Peace.